Lost Connections is a visual novel that's made by me and my good friend Nofar. The idea to make this game came to us at the beginning of June 2022. We both did the writing, Nofar did the art, and I did the programming and music. And in this video, I am going to go over how the game was made. This video won't be going much into the art, so if you're interested about the art specifically, then you can check out Nofar's highlights on Instagram for that. The timeline says how we made it. We already had a base for the story since it's based on real events, so it could have been harder. We did all the writing in this massive document. The entire doc is 7,410 words and 38 pages. I think that took the longest time to write all the different dialogue options. We had to go back and forth a lot to make sure it made sense in context and such. While we were doing the writing, Nofar was already starting on the art. She made sketches, storyboards, and also art that's in the finished game. When the art was done, it was time for me to do the programming, but nothing really happened for a few months. I opened Godot occasionally, but I think the most I did was just a basic proof of concept. I don't think I really started the programming until February 2023. Anyway, so that's mostly the timeline. I'll go deeper into some of the stuff later in the video, but now it's time for the story in the game. This chapter isn't necessary actually, because you played the game already. The original story. The game is based on a story that I wrote about 9 months before we got the idea to make it into a game. This story was based on a real experience I had, and it's also partly fiction. If you're interested in reading the story that the game is based on, then there's a link in the description. The most realistic playthrough of the game is getting the detachment ending, except without the Maroon conversation. Everything is real in that ending except meeting Maroon and some of the very specifics, of course. It's only based on it after all. The course I went to is called Dale Carnegie. It's a pretty popular course, and from what I've heard, it really does help people of all ages. I unfortunately can't speak from experience because, well, you know the story. I'm like lost. On the last day, I talked to this girl that I had wanted to talk to during the course, but didn't. Then she left, of course, and I walked home. Then 2 years later, I was feeling really nostalgic and decided to go back there, just to bathe in the nostalgia. After going home, I wrote that short story, which is ultimately what the game is based on. The programming. Programming was hard, I tell you. My only real experience with programming before Lost Connections was the platform I made in this video. But before I go into the programming, do not make a video game this big if you barely have any experience. This is an awful thing to do. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you fucking do it. I made the game entirely in Godot, and I'd say the programming took around 4 to 5 months all in all. I didn't work on it every single day, but I did work on it a lot. I like to think that the system we made for both writing and implementing the choices is very good. We had an honest, a neutral, and lie option for every choice. Don't pay attention to the naming though, it really should just be good, neutral, and bad or something. Anyway, so honest gives you 1 courage, neutral none, and lie removes 1. There were a total of 39 different dialogue options to write, but because some repeat, we wrote 24 total. The top is what you pick in the game, and the right side is what you picked before. The way I started them in Godot is just by creating every single choice individually. Even the choices that have all the same dialogue in them. I had to copy and change slightly because the choices before and after were different. Probably the worst way to do that, but I'm no smartass, so... The music. Okay, so the music for the game is something I'm very proud of. I wanted to make a video game soundtrack for so many years. This is my first time doing so, and I think I did a fucking awesome job. The style for the soundtrack mostly comes from lo-fi music, like anything you'll find on a 24-hour study relax stream. The reason it's lo-fi is because that's something that people can easily read to. It's there, but it's not taking up your attention, just enhancing your experience. Now the style is pretty basic, but the actual songs themselves have a lot of thought in them. The feel of the songs are inspired by a playlist I made and listened to while I was actually on the course. I made a lot of the songs for the game with the playlist in mind, playlist 27. There's also this little melodic line in every single song on the soundtrack, a melodic line that I often notice in the songs on the 27 playlist. So I decided to have it in every song, even if it wasn't super noticeable, but it usually is. Here's the most obvious example. And here are some other examples. Now, this is a really simple collection of notes. It's twice in every major and minor scale, and it's not hard to accidentally include it in your song. It's just there, it's not something special. But I made the conscious decision to have it at least once in every single song, and sometimes it plays a fairly big part in the melody, like in the examples I showed. Lastly, for the songs, the titles. Me and Nofar came up with the titles together, so let's just run through the list and why they are what they are. Sentimental Snail. It's the main menu, so it kinda could have been anything, but we chose this because it sounds cool and because there's a snail in the scene. Willow Place. This one is a translation of the place the course was held at. Víðir staðar skóli. Except without the school part, which is skóli. Yellow Haze, like Yellow Hazel? Lol. Also, there's a song on the 27 playlist called Red Haze, so it's kinda referencing that. Star stickers. There are stickers in the shapes of stars on the wall in this scene. 27% battery. The phone in this scene has 27% battery, but also remember the playlist? Playlist 27. This title is just referencing Natural Lights by Porter Robinson, which is a song on the 27 playlist. This one's just cute, I guess. I don't know. There's nothing special here. Sanity is something that Lost doesn't have when this one is playing. It's crap and it sounds kinda summery, like a sunbeam. And lastly, all the ending tunes are just named after the respective endings, of course. And that's it for the music in the game. If you want to make a video that goes into the protection of the songs, then just leave a comment and I'll think about it. Easter eggs, secrets, and fun facts. Okay, I'm excited for this one. I am. So let's go. These are called Bingle, Dingle, and Bongle. Bingle's sound is the one from the previously mentioned platformer I made. Dingle is a bongo, and Bongle is me saying hello, but pitched down. Hello. If you relate a lot to Loz, then you probably need help. Loz has hazel eyes, and Hazel has purple eyes. I like this meme. Mug and Can isn't just random. This is a Kinos reference. You can see this exact sequence being typed out in this video. The Bite of 87? This room doesn't have a door. It simply doesn't. This is the same note as the one they read in their bed, which is referencing the original story I wrote, which starts and ends on the same note. It's even the same note. There's actually another fun fact that I want to put in the video. The best ending is called Connection and the worst ending is called Lost, and so when you put them together you get Lost Connection, like the game. Why am I so cute? Okay, there's actually one more thing, because I'm a dumbass and forgot about them. The phone numbers that Maroon and Hazel give, they are dates. The one that Hazel gives is the actual date of me being on the last day of the course. And the one that Maroon gives is the day that I actually met the girl from the chorus that I spoke to on the last day. And I just think that's kinda cool. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for the video. Bye bye.